What is happening, Vape Fam? Joe of All Vapes slamming it to you once again. If this is your first time joining me tonight on our little venture as we do it, thank you very much. Hit that subscribe button if you wouldn't mind so you don't miss any of the latest and greatest and all of the good things that Joe of All Vapes brings to you. So, first of all, let's talk about Nicomore. And if that is a name that you're not too familiar with, I definitely don't begrudge you. Those of you that are fellow fans and followers of Joe of All Vapes saw my Nicomore Flavor Mate review that I did a while back, I believe it was last year. It got mixed reviews for that tank, but we're talking about a review that got over 24,000 views on my channel, of all things, right? Who knew? So I'm thinking to myself, hey, Nicomore has made a pretty good hit with the community. So what's this all about? So new products, different types of innovation, and I really think that they may have kind of hit that with their newest product, the Nicomore N1 RDA/Rdta. Brand new device from Nicomore. I'm really spectacularly pleased and humbled. This is going to be another raw review because these have been doing pretty good so far. I have never played with this in terms of tried it out I've not given it a little dance, but we're going to give it a dance with you and I. Right here, right now, let's do it. All right, folks, so let's start this out right. Now, first of all, like I said, the last review on the Nicomore product that I did back way back when reached over an excess of 24,000 views. Let's see if we can't push the envelope with the new M1 RDA Rdta tank system that they got going on here. So we're going to flip this bad boy around, see just kind of some of the specs that they got going on here. 24 millimeter diameter with a height of 50 millimeters, stainless steel, black on gold coloring, 510 thread, obviously. Okay, you get accessories, manual card, blah, 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 M1 tape. Okay, enough of that good stuff. Let's just take off the sleeve and take a look at what we've got going on here, if I can actually figure that much out. Okay, so this is all unrehearsed, guys. Okay, totally unrehearsed. Okay, so let's take a look at the manual card that they have here. This just gives you the overall design structure of the M1 RDA Rdta. You've got the drip tip, top cap, outer cover, and this actually comes with two different outer covers you can kind of play around with a little bit. And then we've got the coil design structure for where the posts go. The lifting cone portion right here is actually kind of a unique little design for how you actually keep these coils in place. I'll get a little bit more in depth into that. Electrode column, electrode base, probably a little bit more than we care to know. And we're just going to flip that bad boy over, take a look at the quick set manual here. Revolve lifting cone anti-clockwise. Okay. Perform electrode column will go down. Wire should be passed through, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we're just going to wing this here, folks. So let's just kind of take an overall look as to what we've got here, okay? So in the little accessory box that they send are, and I did take a look at this beforehand, 2 spare coils that they send with the RDA Rdta design. Tiny little itty bitty Claptons that they have going on here, extra wide space on the in-between, kind of wondering how hot this thing is going to burn for solid vapor production, but we shall see. Extra long legs, which I think is a good idea, so you can kind of manipulate and play around with the mounting of that as much as you want. And let's see what else we got here in the swag bag. Some extra O-rings, and that's about it. Okay, so we're going to stick that stuff back inside the little accessory box. Okay, so let's bust out the M1 and just kind of take a look at the overall design. So really dig the black on gold design of the outer sleeve. This is the tank portion, and it's a pretty small little tank. I would say, you know, the capacity might be around 2 milliliters. Pretty stout design structure overall. I mean, it's just it's a pleasure to look at for the most part. Let's take this drip tip cap off. As you can see, everything's kind of pulling apart as is, so pretty simple design, much easier than the last one. in spite of the 24,000 views that I got on it. Okay, so let's take the outer sleeve off and just kind of take a look at what we're talking about here. Now, this is the little lifting cone portion that that was in the manual that they're talking about. A deep enough juice well in terms of the RDA format of this little device here. And let's just unscrew the T of the Rdta. Pretty decent looking solid build. Little holes here for the cotton to go through, everything to soak through. And then of course you've got your little electrode that goes straight down, connects to that, goes onto the battery, all that happy stuff. So the lifting cone obviously is something to kind of grab onto to lift it out. But if you unscrew this counterclockwise, you can see the little white bar right there goes down. That's what's keeping your legs in from your coils, okay? I've seen coil spring mounted designs similar to that, basically where you just kind of lift up on the post, put the coil in, and then let the post go back down. But I have never seen a screw set. It looks to me like it's a ceramic little leg in there that just kind of keeps the coil legs in place. And you get a pretty tight fix on that. Everything is stainless steel, so it's nice and smooth. I mean, this thing feels really sturdy, and it looks really sturdy. So let me take the tank portion off of the bottom of this bad boy, stick that aside, and introduce you to the bottom cap for just the conversion to an RDA. Okay, and the juice wells on this are deep enough that I really like the fact that the air intake valves are above the juice well, which is pretty much automatically saying that you're not going to have a tremendous amount of leakage, if any, from this. Now, the overall design allows you to either use this outer sleeve or this outer sleeve that comes with, okay? You just basically push that bad boy on, and this portion right here that sort of stays this permanent gap is where the air intake is. So bottom located air intake valve, kind of like the cracked look of the design on this outer sleeve. I think we're just going to leave that one on. But I think what I'm going to do is take this apart. We're going to put that sleeve aside. I'm going to take the bottom RDA portion off, and I'm going to put the tank part on. Okay, so let's put that right yonder. These coils with the extra long legs, and unscrew the lifting cone, and then affix the coil legs through this bad boy. Okay, so as you can see, the air intake is positioned directly under the coil, and I don't see how that is any way of a bad design. Of course, bad designs never really show themselves from the get-go, right? Not usually until you actually try the device out. I'm getting a nice tight solid grip on the lifting cone screw, keeping everything in there nice and solid, which is impressive so far. I'm going to kind of adjust the coil just a tinge because I'm anal. Okay, cut off the ends of the legs here. There goes that one. And boom, there went that one. And I'm actually going to bust out my handy dandy little voltmeter here. Okay, so 0.57. A little bit more than I assumed it was going to be, but you know, it is what it is. So I got a single 18650 in here. Let's see if we can get a good fire off in it. Okay, so actually that's a little bit more impressive than I expected. Not quite as quick of a fire as I was hoping it would be, but overall, it's really not all that bad. So I think what I'm going to do now is mount the other coil on the Rdta here and see what kind of a fire we can get out of that just with a single 18650. Of course, I'm not going to be using a single 18650 mod, but I'm just curious to see how that fires up with just that amount of power. I don't even know it's worth putting a fire on this with a single 18650. Probably not, but like I said, I'm kind of curious to see if it even fires up, which it does. Okay, so both coils are going pretty consistently at the same time. That makes me incredibly happy, which tells me that overall the design structure of this Rdta RDA combo is pretty sound so far. We ain't done, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put a little bit of juice into the tank section here now. So it looks like the tank is actually filling up pretty nicely. I don't know if you guys can see it. And I'm able to get, okay, about a capacity of almost 2 full milliliters worth. Okay, so what I did here off camera was basically just take some cotton, thread it through the center of the coil, but I sort of gave them little rat tails on the ends of both here, and one right here, and basically just took my little handy dandy builder's tweezers and kind of very snugly positioned them inside those little holes down to the bottom where the juice goes. So kind of hard to see at this angle. There's the juice hole right at the bottom there. Just kind of take it with your handy dandy little builder's tweezers and position them right in those little holes. It actually goes in there pretty easily. There. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too awful tight and I'll still be able to get some juice flow. But in the meantime, we're going to wet this up nice and solid on both ends here and here. What I like to do is put a little bit of heat on the coil, as you can see, in order just to kind of melt the juice into the coil. What I'm going to do is turn that bad boy off, put the sleeve on just a little bit more, just in case the cotton got a little bit too tight. Get the cotton too tight in there and it's not going to absorb worth a darn. Okay, see where the kind of the white specks are? A little bit more than it needs to be. Okay, and then I'm going to take the drip tip, put that on, and this is where we're at. Okay, so we've got about almost a 2 milliliter capacity on the bottom tank portion of the Rdta. Okay, I'm going to screw this in to my modular device and see what we can do with the Nicomore N1 RDA. All right, folks, so we've got the Nicomore Rdta M1 set up on my Rev Sport from Rdta, and we're going to give this a shot. Now, the good thing is I'm not limited to a single 18650 battery when it comes to dealing with solid mods here. So I'm going to bust this up to about, we're going to try 65 watts just starting out. Typically with the coil ohm that we were playing with, I like to go at about 70 to 80, but I'm going to err on the side of caution just for the heck of it. Okay, so let's see what kind of a burn we can get out of 65 watts. Okay, so first of all, excellent flavor, 0 burn back, and absolutely 0 spit back. Beautiful A1, top of the line, A-grade experience right off the bat. I absolutely hate spit backs whenever I'm playing with an RDA, especially an Rdta design. Now I'm getting a solid, smooth air intake right on the bottom here. I think this is a really, really cool and beautiful design overall. I think it's a massive, huge step up from the last tank that Nicomore sent me for review. Still 0 spit back, 0 burn, which is good. Let's bump this up to 70 now. Okay, so 70 watts right there, and see what we can get out of that experience. Obviously warmer. Basically what I'm trying to say is with a non-adjustable airflow, you're still getting in solid cloud production, really good flavor retention. And one of the things, reasons I'm consistently hitting it here is not just because I like the flavor of the e-juice, but I wanted to test this out and make sure that the amount of cotton that I put in here that went into the bottom section of the tank is still sucking up juice. Okay, so I'm looking at the bottom portion of the tank right here from the bottom up, and I'm not actually seeing the little rat tail ends of the cotton that I put in there. which tells me that obviously you do want to wick this before adding juice. I'm getting 0 leakage from this thing, which is absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love that fact of a good RDTA design. Still good flavor, still 0 spit back, and still working at 70 watts. So rating overall, I'm saying for the Nicomore M1 Rdta RDA conversion device here, atomizer, I'm going to go with a solid 10 unless chosen otherwise throughout the process of usage. You know what I mean? I think this is a really, really cool design, 10 times better in my personal opinion than the Flavor Mate tank design that they had me review last year. And hopefully a lot of you guys are going to get the same impression from this. Absolutely massive quality step in the right direction. So Nicomore, thank you very much. 10 out of 10 for your M1 RDA RDTA tank design. Really masterful, gorgeous design too. I gotta get myself a new gold mod now. Darn, doesn't that suck? You know what I mean? So bring this to a close. If anybody else out there has any questions on the Nicomore Rdta RDA atomizer M1 tank design, definitely slam it in the comment section below or give me a DM on Instagram at JoeOfAllVapes. Keep an eye out for JoeOfAllVapes.com. That's my new website that I'm working on. That should be coming up sometime probably in the beginning of January 2018. So once again, I want to thank everybody out there for joining me for this review of the Nicomore M1 Rdta RDA tank atomizer. And remind you all that this is Joe of All Vapes, your eye in that vaping sky, wishing you to stay humble. You love yourselves, love each other, spread that love, guys, because love is what keeps the world go round. And you keep it insanely, beautifully, wonderfully, deliciously cloudy. Hey everybody, this is Joe of All Vapes. Thank you for watching. For the best in vape reviews, pound that subscribe button. And don't forget, vaping saves lives.